what you need to do, in my opinion, first, well, other than find the time frame, I think, I don't think this is only for US 30, but I've tried bouncing back and forth time frame to time frame, 5, 15. Oh, what's the 30-minute look like? And what's the MACD and whatever saying on the 30-minute versus the 15? And a lot of times they contradict each other. So I'd say the first thing you need to do is figure out what time frame you're going to trade and stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's just on US 30. I think that is across the board. Second thing we need to do, in my opinion, is find the trend. And I called it earlier interim trend, and it's like I called it intermediate trend, and that's not like the big trend. Like if you go to the 4 hour, and you see like these yellow boxes, that's like the big trends that's going on. Not that trend. That's why I say like the intermediate trend. So you need to, like I said last time, we draw a single line, and kind of play with it here. You draw a single line, and if it's a short move, a bearish move, I do one line at the top of the candles. If it's a bullish move, I do one line at the bottom of the candles. So let's see. You say that this was moving kind of there, bouncing around. Pick it off the bottom. So this is one of them goofy spots, but I do like that. It seems to be flowing through there. So you need to find if it's a bearish or bullish move. And then if it is, so let me get my marker here. As it bounces back up to your line, you're making sure that it's not breaking through. And that's where you would enter your short position. I feel like a lot of people are just jumping in, for no apparent reason, or, you get a vision signal, but you need to, kind of have more than just one thing that's telling you to get in. So top of your trend, maybe a high RSI, and then vision pops a bull. Well, there you have three points telling you to get in. Not just vision, or not just RSI, not just MACD. You need to have a few different things, and the main one I would say is being either on a trend line on a bullish move, so something like this, on our trend line, broke out of this trend line. So there's a couple points where you could look in for a bullish move, and then of course a bounce on a bearish move. See how it bounces off the trend line, doesn't break through it, so you're good for a nice little bearish scalp. And everybody trading US 30, I see a lot of people holding it, in my experience, and Rock has more experience with US 30, but from what I see, you don't want to hold it. It's just Rock might hold. So Rock, do you swing them? Do you hold very long?
No, Lord. I'm in and out.
Yeah, that's the most profitable I've been. Is in make sure you're just in and out. Like don't be looking for 100, 200, 300 points. And on a point one, I'm looking for 10, maybe 15 points, and if it's fast enough and I can get out with 25 points, I'm happy. But when it gets to about 10 points on a point one, I make about $100, and that's where I'm looking to exit. And 10 points can come real quick. So you do that 10 times, you made $1,000, and you can do it 10 times really quick. In a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart. Anyway, so now we'll turn on. By the way, there's a lot of signals on the chart because this is the new scalper version that we're testing. I'm gonna hit the replay in a second, and I have multiple lines in here, and you'll see exactly what starts to happen when it bounces off these lines, and that's you'll start to see these signals line up exactly where the buyers start to step in. That's where you'll start to see the bullish signals, and where the sellers start to step in, you'll see some bear signals. So we'll pop the replay right here. Can everybody see it okay?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, let me make sure I'm still recording. All right, we're good. All right, so let's make sure the replay's not running too fast or too slow. A little slow. little note, if we pause it right here and you just pop the trend line right here, you can see this is the stuff you're watching for. Is it breaking our trend line? Is it breaking our trend line? It actually did here. You can see it came out of it. That red candle and that green candle was a test to see if it was going to support it and change the trend. So that's what you're looking for. And until it changes that trend, until it pops out of it, tests it, and keeps moving, until it changes that trend, it's still a bearish move. And once it pops out of it, it's most likely going to change the direction. It's not perfect every time, but 9 times out of 10, that's what everybody else is looking for. So.
Look at that drop.
Yep. Again, if you're watching your Vision SNR, I don't know if there's anybody in here that's not a Vision subscriber, but the Vision SNR is a free indicator. And these little red lines here, you'll see some green ones every now and then too. Green is support, red is resistance, yellow is breaking through. And that's a free indicator. You can find it on TradingView. Just type in Vision SNR and it should pop up. So if you watch spots like that, you see this beautiful bear signal there pop up. This one here pop up right at that resistance. Pretty fire. And you see another bear right here pop up at this resistance. And this bull right here, this was honestly a pretty good little move. If you caught the little bounce right there and you were like we were saying earlier, quick in and out. I mean, I'm not gonna say we picked it from the bottom, but I mean, there's right there in that little spot right there, 77 points on a 0.1. That's $770. So.
My problem with US 30 is them damn long wicks. I can't figure it out to save my life.
Yeah. If there's long wicks like that, typically I would say it's probably close to 930. I don't mess around 930 anymore. I stay away. Heading up to 930, okay. About 20-30 minutes before 930, I sit back, and then I sit back till probably around 10:30 market time, New York time, and then I'll start looking. But I don't mess around right there anymore. It's just asking for trouble. We'll speed this up a little bit, and you'll see it's bouncing off that trend line. Then it finally breaks out of there, and it changes the trend now. So you're looking for this. If you're looking to go bullish on this downtrend, you're not wanting to go bullish or go long on it at all, unless you're trying to get, like I said, one of these little bounce backs to your trend line. That's okay. But you really I would say you gotta have some experience under your belt, at least a little bit, on hitting those little bounce backs. But if you're trying to go long on this, the safe way is wait for this to come out. It tests that trend right there with that little red candle, and then the buyers step in. Some antsy buyers stepped in right here. That's why we got that bull signal. But the safe traders got in right here after it tested and started to take off from there. And now there's a trend change, and that's why we have our other blue line here. Which of course you won't have these blue lines ahead of time, but like I said, on a bullish move, I'm looking at my one line is on the bottom of the trend. I don't do 2 lines. I don't do a channel. And see right there. Damn it! Stupid thing. Hit the space bar and it jumped out. All right, where were we?
No. Go back over. Were you already? No, you were back over.
Right here, maybe.
Yes, right there.
Right in there.
Right there.
All right, we'll start this over again. Remember, don't hit the space bar. All right. I'm so used to hitting the space bar for pausing everything. And you can see the support and resistance lines playing in right there.
Yeah, that channel sucked.
All right, now watch what happens as it breaks through it right here. Now, nice little bullish run. This one, they almost got through. And I would say you need to watch when they almost get through, because it's probably coming up that the sellers are getting stronger if they made it through there. And like one thing I know, like you don't want to mess with the bulls on US 30. This is for trading anything, by the way. This isn't for just US. US just is, I would say, one of the best things to trade if you're a technical trader, because it follows all the rules that I've seen. Except if you go if you go against the bulls, you'll say, man, the RSIs are like almost 100. It's got to come down soon. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I promise you it does not. They ate my lunch because I thought that. And they kept riding it out. Anyway, so you just need to pay attention to what it's doing. You see right here, it broke through our trend line, came back to test it to make sure it wasn't, because it'll pop down sometimes through it and then come back into the trend. But, you know, if it tests it like this and then you see that big gap down, that's now, in my opinion, trend change. Now you can maybe look to go short. And, you know, not trying to toot the old horn here, but Vision said to sell it up here. So we'll go to the next deal here. And now we're going to see if there's another test of it, of the same trend line. And now it's popping down here, so you got two little peaks there. Gosh damn it, I just hit the fucking space bar again. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, tell me about it. I know where we were now. We're right in here.
Yeah, that was the bottom.
All right, let me hit the replay button again. All right. Now it's made two little spots, right? Okay, so if we didn't have a trend line in here, you could go ahead and stick one from the low here, you know, to the low around here. And even though it doesn't line up with my line right here that I have, that will be close enough to show you what's going on. So if it comes back down, now you can adjust your line, make it a little longer. And now you're just watching to either get in long on another bounce off of your trend line, or if it breaks, wait for the test, and then you go short. So there it goes, it breaks. It's tested it twice, as you can see here. Oh, my marker's gone. It's tested it twice now. Came up, tested it once there, came up, tested again there. And now we have a massive red candle right here that it's currently on, if everybody can see that. And so, boom. Now, I don't know about you, but boy, if you had any good lot size on that, that was 200 point drop right there. That's a ripper. And not to toot the horn again, the Vision said to sell it. And it did say to sell it once it broke the trend line. So this new Scalper 2 version, it's built to be totally reactive to the market. The reason we call it Scalper is because most of the time, we think everybody will be more profitable if you're quickly getting in and out, taking your profit when you should. Stop trying to hold it. Stop trying to swing trade, 5 or 15 minute chart. And most of these moves, not just on the U.S. again, on stocks and everything, is going to have a real choppy day or a couple days, so you could get in here and take a position here and take a position here and take a position here, So being able to have an indicator that will scalp those in and out, back and forth, is pretty powerful. So let me...
Have you tested the scalper? Have you done a back test on it to see how profitable it is?
Yeah, we have, but TradingView doesn't like vendors like us to share backtesting results. It's very good, because the reason they don't is because the market was one way today, but it might be different tomorrow. So to say, hey, it's 99% profitable today, market conditions change tomorrow. Now we're spreading bullshit. So,
right.
And I feel them. I mean, it's true. Do
you recommend that scalper on the 1, the 5, or the 15?
The 5 and 15 and up. So what I mean by the Scalper 2 is reactive to the market. As you see, a lot of these, there's some signals bunched up together. But there's some spots where this thing wants to hold the whole position. So there's some stuff built into it. Obviously, I can't tell you what. But if it sees that the buyers are still strong on a bullish move, it's not going to tell you to sell it. Same thing with the bearish side. If it's going to, if the sellers are really strong, it's not going to tell you to buy it and go long. Right here, likely, on a big dump like this is going to probably end up being a bear flag. I can't remember this spot specifically, But likely this is just a bounce, which these are great. These bounces are usually, a good amount of, I mean, right there, 65 points. If you get half that, there's 30 points. So that's likely what this will do. I've noticed a lot, like, I know me and Cash have talked about it quite a bit. It seems like on the 5 and 15-minute charts that US 30 likes to just like either bear flag or bull flag. If it's making a move, it's either bull flagging or bear flagging, or working on the pole, of the flag. It just seems like it likes to do that. So if you know how to spot flags, definitely keep a lookout for them.
That one was the H formation.
Oh, the H pattern. Okay, so this is probably something good to show because it does it a lot. On a bear flag, it's usually, you got your pole, it'll come up like this. They say, it'll kind of bounce around in here. That's okay. Just look for it to kind of angle up. Let me get rid of that one. So on a bear flag, that's kind of what you're looking for. Most stocks, Tesla taught me this, to watch for this pattern where it starts to look like a bull flag or a bear flag, and then it kind of curls over and heads back to test that bottom that it made, and then it always breaks it. Like, I don't think I've seen one that hasn't broke the bottom on, and that's why we call them an H pattern, because it starts out as a bear flag, and then it kind of curls over, and then it finally reaches that bottom, and then they punch it. So that's why we call that the H pattern. Let's continue. And we see perfect little spot there. There's right here. It told you to take profit on that bull signal. Now, you have kind of two things lining up there for us. One, it's basically touching our trend line. Two, we have a resistance right there with our Vision SNR, with the red line there. Red line is resistance. So it's kind of bouncing out there. So you could grab that one early if you wanted to. I don't recommend it if you're a fresh trader, but knowing that this kind of looked like a bear flag and then started to curl over. I don't think I've seen, like I said, Tesla taught me that move, and I think I see it on every stock that makes that same move. And it usually happens off the morning open on stocks. So on the morning open, if you see this move and it starts to curl over, you better buy some puts on that baby.
The only time I've seen it not break lower is if the bulls come in quick and make it at the bottom.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, it's not perfect, I'm sure, but every time Tesla does it, I tell you right now, it breaks it. She go down. But it's a like I said before, if you can catch these bottoms when it drops like this for the bounce. Actually, this H pattern, I've never looked up the actual pattern on Google or anything, but I'm sure you guys might have heard of people saying a dead cat bounce. Mm-hmm. I do believe, I've never looked up the pattern, but I do believe this is it. So if you dropped a cat out of a building, it'd probably bounce up like this and then fall back over. I mean, I like cats. I got a couple, but I'm just saying that's probably, if I Googled it, I'm sure that's probably what it'd come up with. Nice little H pattern. Let's hit the play button here. And there we go. We hit our trend line again. Beautiful bounce. So there's another short position. And you don't have to take a new position, you can add into your positions. If you have one running from that previous spot we talked about, you could still have that one running and then add another position as it's bouncing off your trend line. And then once you get down to their bottom, where you think it's probably going to start to try to break through your trend line and change the little trend that it's having, then you can take profit. I would recommend just scalping. Look for a certain amount of points that you just like to take profit at. Like me, like I said, I like 10, 15, 25 points. Because if I get 10 points is $100. So I have to do that 10 times if I want to meet my $1,000 a day that my goal is. But if I get 25 points, then I only have to do it 4 times because I'm making about $250 profit each time.
That is called a dead cat.
Is it really? Meow. All right, so let's press play here. It looks like, because my line, it's going to break out, test. All right, can everybody see the breakout and test right here?
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. So you draw your lines in here. And as we showed, where was that one that played off the old line? Right here. I try to leave my lines in for, if I'm on the 15 and maybe like 2-3 days, like a line way back here that's not in play anymore, you can go ahead and delete those lines. But as you see right here, after it broke and tested and had a little short move, it still came up, tested that same exact line, and bounced off of it. So you might try to leave your lines in there for a couple days, and then once they're not going to be coming into play anymore, you can delete them as you go on. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for entries with bounces on our trend line. That's like I said, find your time frame that you're comfortable with trading. I'd say for a lot of new people, 15 minutes probably the way to go. And then maybe you can drop down to 5 minute once you get some experience. And this goes for stocks too. This scalper 2, I'll show you guys. This scalper 2 is beautiful on stocks, dude.
What's going to be the major difference between 15 and 5? Is it just quicker?
Yeah, more signals. I mean, like I said, if that's your thing, like hell, you can like drop down to the 1 minute if you're fast enough. But I mean, you have to, you have to be looking, because that thing will turn around on you real quick. I had somebody today, Callie's cousin, actually, he was in a, I think he was in a short, and he was up some profit. The position was looking good on him, and then he was on the 1 minute. So I mean, immediately, one candle took him out, and Momo Bull popped up, which is pretty rare. It's like some of them rare Pokemon. It just popped up out of nowhere and ate his lunch. So, and that's a 5 minute too. The 5 minute, you need to be careful. That's why I think Rock probably got me on the whole scalping US 30 thing, because I started looking at it every time he'd post his profit shots. He'd post like a damn good profit, and then you look at his entry and his exit, and they were so close to each other. I'm like, wow, I got it. He was probably posting them profits for like a month, and I finally caved in and started trading this stuff. But same thing goes with stocks. If you're trading options, I don't know how many times I've been in an option contract, seen it. Oh man, yeah, I'm doing good, $100, $200, and then I'm like, yeah, I want to see if this will go more. And in probably less than 30 minutes, I'm now negative. Never came back again. I mean, I don't know how many times that I've given Tesla traders so much money. Yeah. So, when you get profit, taking profit, that's the thing. Like, I don't care if it's $1 anymore. If I got to take $1 just to get out of it with, no red, no negative, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Taking profit, ain't nobody losing money. So, all right, let me delete my, I'll just leave that circle in there, screw it.
Are you switching between like scalper and advanced and intermediate?
No.
Out here, or mainly sticking on one?
No, I stick, since we developed this scalper 2, and like I said, we're still testing it. Since we developed this is all I've been looking at with everything. Just because that's the type of trader I am. I don't, if I'm swing trading, I'll go the 4 hour, and I'll show you the scalper 2 on 4 hour, and it's a beauty.
I just don't think I'm guts to hold it though.
No, hell no. I'd love to trade the 4 hour, man. 1,000 points back and forth. Hell yeah. That's 10 grand on a 0.1, but anything can happen, and I don't, I sleep at night. I'm not going to sit there and watch it. But we'll keep playing.
Have you done any straddles or?
I've done them on US. I've never done them on options. On US.
Straddle right now.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't fully get how to do those if you're supposed to do like 20-point later entry, or she kind of.
No, well, the way I've done them is in a spot like, let's say like this right here. At the same time, you would open a long and you'd open a short. So if it comes up long here, you can take your profit or hold it. It's up to you. If you had, this is like get a good size account first. You have to be able to withstand the drawback. And luckily with US 30 there's no expiration date. So and then you have a short as well. Well, you're negative here on your short until it comes back down here, and now you'd be in profit on your short, so you could take profit on your short. And if you're still holding your long, well, look, if you have the big enough account to withstand the drawback, you could now take more profit than what you would have taken here. But of course you didn't know it was going to get up here, so I likely would have taken profit somewhere in here. It's easy to look at the chart, from past days and talk a lot of shit, but You know, I mean, it is. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not one of them guys on
Hindsight's
YouTube.
always 2020.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be one of them liars on YouTube. You know, I
And
probably, honestly, I probably would have taken profit halfway up this bounce, to be honest. And then like got here, hell, I probably would have taken profit when that candle just started to go and watched it drop further. That's just the way it is. But I'm not mad because I took profit. You know, but that's this type of straddle I've opened on US. You don't want to do a straddle at, you know, like when it's close to like the lows of the 4 hour, like that trend I was showing you guys. I wouldn't do a short down here, to be honest, unless it's fell through this a good bit. You know, that's a 4 hour trend, and I would be careful shorting down here. When it gets up to the highs, I wouldn't try to go long when it's making a brand new high, because you might get stuck there for a while. So when it's somewhere like playing here in the middle in this range, if you can kind of judge and see kind of where this range is, and then pick kind of a roundabout middle, you'd probably be pretty safe. But again, you have to have, I would say, a decent amount of count. It's kind of what I told her cousin earlier. You know, if you have a few thousand in your account and you're only opening one position at a time, you know, you want to make sure you're opening a position that you can stand, I would say, to go against you 100 to 200 points. So if I open a .1 on something and it goes against me 200 points, I'm going to be negative $2,000. Likely, from my experience, if I hold that and my account can handle that drawback, I'm going to be able to take profit on it. It's a matter just of time, and you'll get a couple fees from holding overnight or whatever probably, but from my experience, almost everything I've held, I've taken profit on. But you have to have the size of account and the right position size to be able to do it. If you only have a couple $100 and you're trading a .1, I would not do it, because it could go against you 200 points and now you have no account left. So trade the .01, you know, yeah, same. But trade the .01, you take your $5, $6, $7 profits, trust me, they'll add up. And you'll start doing a .02, and now you make $20, 25, 30, 40, and just it like, let's see. I started with 1,000, dropped it down to 600 while I was learning how to trade it, and in a month and a half, 2 months, it was up somewhere around 16,000. And like I just started trading this because Rock was like, "Yeah, man, this is what I'm using. This is what I'm doing." That's why you see his hashtag blame Rock. It's his fault. It's his fault. We're all going crazy.
When you're opening the long and the short, are you going like right away long and short, or are you waiting like 5 minutes to open the other?
No, when I do it personally, I don't know how everybody else does it, but when I do it personally, I'm like back to back. I open a long and then I open the short.
Same lot size?
Yeah. And like, that goes again, like you're opening multiple positions. So if they're .01, you're making $1 or losing $1 every point that this thing moves. If you only have a few $100s in your account, you're most likely going to get closed out. So if you, like, when I was up to like 14,000 in my account, I was just opening .1s, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it went red a little bit. I don't care. But this thing, most likely, unless the market crashes, isn't going to go against me enough to where I won't be able to take profit on it. That's why I love it so much, because it has beautiful swings back and forth, you know, over the span of a couple days, and you'll catch some fees for holding overnight. You know, it is what it is, but at least you were able to take profit. So just size your position. If that's probably more important than finding your time frame and finding the trend. Size your position correctly to your account. And if you're on a .01 and you only do have a couple $100, just be safe. Get that thing up to around 1,000. And keep playing with the .01 and get it up to 2,000. And at that point, I would say maybe you could step up to a .02 or a .03.
Before you enter on the 15, do you look at any other time frame before you enter?
I used to, and now I only look at probably the 5 and 15, because I got caught up in a week of just nothing but losers, and so for 2 weeks I stopped trading, and I'm like, man, what was I doing wrong there, and what was I doing in the beginning to really jumpstart me like that. And what I could find was I was looking at the 1, looking at the 5, looking at the 15, looking at the 30, and I told you guys I was going to show you the MACD thing that I use. So I'll remind me, and I'll show you that once we get through this replay. And so the 1 and the 5 would say, I'd look at the MACD because what I'll show you is really powerful. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, okay, well, this says it's going to go up. And then I go look at the 15 and the 30, and I'm like, well, that says it's going to go down. And so I'm like, which one's the stronger time frame here? In my mind, it's the higher time frame. That's the stronger one. And then, this lower time frame or this higher time frame would play out like it, like I had in my mind. And this other one, it's just, they were too conflicting. And so that's why I say, like, pick a time frame. Like Rock says, he does the 5 minute, and that's what I started doing. So, like, pick a time frame. I do bounce back and forth looking at the 5 and 15 because, like the bear flag and the bull flag thing I was talking about, sometimes that bear or bull flag will be very, very definite on the 15 minute and maybe not on the 5 or vice versa. But when I was looking at the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 30 minute, the 15, like all of them, it became like, this is conflicting. So I got confused and, I'm like, which one do I follow? Okay, well, let me follow this one. And of course, you picked the bad one. So,
Yeah.
So,
I'm
yeah.
trying to learn how to use those triple EMAs.
We can go over that too. Just remind me after the MACD deal. But just to get to this replay real quick, this is where we seen this bearish trend got broke, tested, and started to move in. The buy came over here. Vision must not have seen buyers really start stepping in until right here, which, I would say it was correct. But being able to see this and maybe add in the EMA or the MACD or the RSI, you maybe could have got in a little early and seen this bull signal and, been like, okay, hold it a little longer. This, by the way, as you see, is a bull flag right here. If you ever see US 30 doing this, where it just kind of it rips up and stalls out, never go short on that. You will get 8 every time. I've tried. I'm like, oh yeah, that looks like it's gonna fail. Yeah, right. Failed to make profit in my account.
When you draw your trend lines, do you draw them on the time frame that you're looking to trade, or do you go back further?
Yeah, I draw them on what I'm trading on. Now, like those big yellow boxes I have, that's drawn on the 4 hour because you need to know where the big trends are. They're really easy to spot, so you don't have to draw the boxes like I do. That's the way I like to do it. I'll show you guys the 4 hour here in a second. But yeah, other than those big main trend lines, because since I'm scalping or aka day trading, if I'm holding a little longer than a scalp, I don't care really about the higher time frames unless it's getting close to those yellow boxes. Then you need to start paying attention to those as well as these blue lines. But this is basically, this is it, man. I'll show you the MACD deal that I use and how I use it and the EMAs. Honestly, I started using the 20, the 50, and the 200 because that's the main ones that everybody uses across the board. US 30 stocks, Forex, everything. There's a couple that use like the 9 and the 21, stuff like that. But from what I see, personally, the 20 EMA is the strongest one on US 30. The 50 comes into play sometimes, and the 200 comes into play sometimes too. But from what I see as a scalper or day trader, the 20 is the most important for me. But again here, nice little bull signal off our trend. You see let me safely get that circle out of there without changing the chart again. You see up here is the bear signal. This is one of them spots where you could short it back to your trend line, and then once you get close to the trend line, bail out, take your profit. Don't hold it, because if it's not going to break that trend line, it's going to keep going up. So, but I would save that for when you got a little more screen time under your belt before you start trying to do those. It's kind of like the EMA, the 20 EMA. You'll see kind of the same stuff I'll show you, where it'll bounce away from the 20 EMA. And so you have a chance to, if you're looking at some other things like a high RSI or something, it will bounce back to the 20. And the 20 will act as a trend line or as a support, most of the time. Until it gets underneath it, it'll test it and fail it. Just like these trend lines. And we'll show you guys that. But we'll hit play again. And so just watch for this thing to bounce off this trend line and keep going. Nice little bullish move here. And somebody call it out when it breaks it. We'll slow it down so you guys have time to call it out.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
I see that obviously when you're drawing your blue trend line, you are drawing them before the candles develop.
Yeah.
how do you determine the steepness of these trend lines, like even before these candles develop?
How do you
determine the steepness?
I'll delete these lines and we'll find some together. I said before, like in our last video, I hate drawing lines on like a really steep downtrend move. Like there's some in here that are just steep ones. And so it just looks goofy to my eyes. Like this one right here just looks goofy, It's so steep and it's not typical for me. But it's there. You can see the clear breakout test and now the trend changed into a bullish trend. So the steep ones are kind of goofy and kind of hard to spot and draw, but they're there, and your lines don't have to be perfect. Just got to get you in the area. And then as you draw them more and trade them more, you'll start to be able to draw them a little better each time. So I'm going to hit play. Somebody call it out when it breaks the trend line and test it and changes the trend. Anybody? Yep, right there. No tooting horns, but it said bear before it broke it. But when it says bear, it must be seeing some big sellers stepping in there more than normal. So kind of giving it a heads up, and then it breaks
you're really looking at that big candle right after the really tiny candle, right? That's the one that you're really kind of, because it came down under the trend line, and then the next candle after that didn't even come close to it.
Right. Well, you can do that because that's an engulfing pattern. It's an engulfing candle. But on standard candles, you might for example, at 9:30 in the morning, you'll see some big candles, and it really just kind of go sideways with candles like this big green one right here, for 30 minutes. And so it's kind of, don't make that the only thing you're looking for. Because this thing could be that big red candle, but then it could have a 3 times big just as green candle right after it. Kind of like that Momo bull that, what's his name, got caught up in today. He had a great short move. And, if he would have taken profit on it, he probably would have been up 40 or 50 points. And just like that, man, it can turn around on you. So don't use that just for, the only thing you're looking for. But, that could be the first thing that catches your attention, sure. It kind of, just like this move right here, you got a couple really good sized red candles, but then quickly, then buyers said, hell no. That's why, again, don't go against them bulls. You can go against them bears. A lot of times on US, you'll be all right. But you go against some bulls and you hold it for too long, it's not going to be a good day. But yeah, just like that, broke out, came back, tested it, and now we should see this trend reverse and start to do a nice little bearish move. Again, we don't know for how long, and see the buyers just bought it up that quick. So we'll see what happens. I don't remember this. This might be, is this today or yesterday? Oh, this is now. This is like, we're coming up on real time here.
Yeah, that's real time.
So, being that it broke this trend, Cash, like you were asking earlier, is it going to go up? I would say this is probably going to start to go down because it broke our trend. It tested it, once here, once here. I would say a couple more times here, and it can't break through it. And plus it's nighttime. So until third shift comes on, I would look for a bearish move. Third shift means London session, by the way, for anybody wondering. I call them third shift. American time, New York time's first shift, and in the middle is second shift. So, but yeah, I would look for a bearish move The only thing that kind of has me concerned for a bearish move is this, straight up deal and just kind of consolidating here, So I would wait for a few more candles to pop up here.
It kind of looks like a bull flag, doesn't it?
Kind of, but it's a goofy one,
Yeah, like it's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Okay, so we'll go over the MACD deal real quick. And then there was something else somebody said. I know we're going to just go to a random spot on the chart. We'll start drawing some trend lines. What the hell did I just delete? Oh, no, I deleted vision.
Trend line.
Get back your vision. By the way, anybody that doesn't use the trailing stop, it's in every version of Vision right now, 1.46. So the trailing stop's super, beautiful. Like you see these lines that follow the chart. It'll help you.
Set the trailing stop up?
For me, I'm gonna. Okay, so let me turn the drift off because it's kind of hard to see the lines when you have your trail too tight. But for me, like again, if your account's good, it's enough size. That's why mine was set to 50 right there. I can deal with it running against me 50 points, But typically, as you see, a lot of these good signals, if you're not trading, dead hour like right now, you'll be all right. So like on US 30, I usually have it set to 30 or 50. And my lines aren't showing up. No, they are. They're just, again, you can see like they're so tight. And so it'll stop it out real quick if they're too tight. It kind of play with it. It depends on the volatility of something you're trading. So since US 30 is so volatile, that's why mine's set to like 50. You might set it to 75, just to kind of get a judge on how it's running. But I like 50 personally. On Bitcoin, I have it like 300 because yeah, that thing moves 300 points in the blink of an eye. So yeah, that's how I use the trailing stop. But it can definitely help, if you're trying to kind of hold on for a little bit more money, a little bit more profit. It can definitely help you do that. Does everybody know how to use a trailing stop?
Absolutely not.
Pretty simple. When you set it, as you see, it kind of moves up and goes flat here, moves up, goes flat, moves up, goes flat on this bull signal, but never goes down. When it moves up, the trailing stop, so think of it as a stop loss. If you have your stop loss set right here, and then it moves up and it comes back down, and say we go straight across here, you'd get stopped out right over here. But a trailing stop is the same thing. It'll stop you out if it's, in your broker. Obviously, this is just a visual indicator. This will stop you out, but as it moves up, it'll go flat when this starts to come back against you. And so as this pulls back, it'll go flat until it starts to get a little higher. And then it'll start to move up again, go flat when it comes back against you, and start to move up as the position is moving up. So you're gaining profit, and then it stays still. You're gaining profit, stays still until it hits that trailing stop, and that's where you would exit. So it helps you take the whole move if there's going to be one. It helps you take that whole move instead of just a piece of it. So this is like a thing, like let's look at the RSI here. RSI is pretty low. Stochastic was in my green zone that I have here. So, and the MACD was under the histogram 0 point. So there's a good chance that this was going to be a good move. And so if we wanted to get in there, and we felt good about that, and we took that position, we would have, been able to ride up here and say we were looking at the trailing stop to tell us when to get out. We could do that, or you could look at your take profit signals. These are going to change colors because we feel that a lot of people don't even see them. Can everybody see these take profits here?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can see it when I have it on dark.
Right. We're going to change them similar probably to the trailing stop hit, a little yellow outline or something on them, because pay attention to those. Those will save you guys lots of money. A lot of people just ignore them.
Yeah, because it told you to take profit up there at the top. If you would have listened to you would have listened to your trailing stop, you would have lost all that. That looks like what, 30, 40 points?
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that ignore them. Don't ignore them. The take profit above the candles are for long positions, bullish candles, bullish positions. Take profits below the candles are for the bearish signals. So as you see, like right here, bear ran all the way down here before it said take profit. And, you know, that's a good place to, hey, it's why is it saying take profit here? Because it's going against you. So, again, maybe a spot to look for a bounce. Or like this right here, take profit right here because there's a bull signal now. So maybe look for a re-entry, see if everything's lining up for you for a re-entry. Is it bouncing off your trend line, etc. So pay attention to all the signals. Those take profits especially. You know, like this one right here, if you took profit on this first one from where you got in down here, would have taken profit. You know, it's like there's a lot of these spots where you should take profit when it tells you, like this bull signal right here, beautiful example. Comes up, take profit. If you were holding it and you're like, I'm going to see if it'll go more, like we all do. Don't be a liar. And now you're at a loss because you didn't listen to it. So pay attention to those take profits. And I am rambling on, and now I forgot what I was doing, Cash.
So go back to right where you said that.
Right there?
Yeah. Okay. So you look at that one, not that one, the first one that you were identifying. Next to the right.
Big one here?
Yeah. So say you take profit at that first take profit up there. Okay? So how are you going to? Do you just close that one out and open up a new one in order to keep with that run, or how do you take profits out of that without closing your position?
Well, you can listen to it, take your profit, and then wait for the next setup. If you have a trend line here, that'll show you where the next setup is, which would be right here.
Right.
Or you can not be a little greedy ass and stay out until the next position pops up. I'm just saying that's what gets a lot of people screwed. You be greedy, you want this big move. Hey, we all do. But man, that'll burn you. Right. That will burn you because as you see, not every move is going to be a good one like that. And as you see, it can go against you real quick. How fast did this move pop up when we just hit that replay? You know?
Let's just say I was in that move and it was fast.
Right. You don't, that's why I just stay with the scalper mentality. Like, I probably would have taken profit before it even told me to take profit. Because so a lot of these moves don't look big because it's a 15-minute time frame. But let's just measure this right over here. Right there is 31 points in just those two green candles right there. I honestly probably would have taken profit at 20 points, but if you got 30 points on a 0.1 lot size, that's $300. Do that a few more times, now you have $1,200 for the day.
I mean, even on a 0.01, that's still $30.
Right, that's big. That's big on a 0.01. To me, that's half 100. Moving on up. So let's see. Let's go over the MACD deal, and then we'll find some trend lines in random spots. Oh wait, before we do the trend lines, I'll show the 1 and the 4 hour, just to show how you could trade just a higher time frame for those of you that might work every day. If you have the balls enough to hold positions like that, which they work. I mean, people do it every day on US 30. There's really a lot of people that hold, from the bottom to the top, but I'm just not one of them. So let's look at the MACD here. Let's see. Let me save my chart the way it is so I can delete these, and that way we can just pay attention specifically to the MACD.
How'd you get the Stokes to get the red and the green? I have mine on dark. I don't know if that makes a difference.
I'll tell you for $49.99. No, I drew those myself. I went up here to, I think, the draw tool. Yeah, the draw tool, and then hit the rectangle right there, and then I just drew the boxes, where I wanted them, where I seen it kind of. If you look, like I explained last live, if you look at the RSI and the stochastic and zoom out a little bit, you'll start to see that they kind of trend to a certain area. They only go most of the time so low, and they only go so high most of the time. Let me Let me see if I can bring it back
Yeah,
up. I'll show you.
Trading View needs an undo button. I've moved my like resistance around a bunch. It's annoying.
Hit Control Z.
Oh, they do have one?
No, it's just like across the board. Control Z is an undo for a lot of websites and programs and stuff. That's what I use.
Nice.
That's how I just brought all this back. But so I can show you what I was talking about. If you look here where my red box is and green box is, the reason that this is this thick and that red one is that thick is because, as you see, if you zoom out, they all kind of go to the same area. So like I showed last time, there's a pattern to everything. These these people just make patterns, you know, and it's good because then it becomes easier to trade that way. Like my green RSI line, I know if it ever gets down this low, I better just blindly buy it up, because as you see, every time it gets down this low is a very low point, it shoots back up pretty well. And same thing with the top here. So I just look for patterns like that, and then that's why I drew them lines and those boxes in there. I've been thinking about having Josh create a stochastic in RSI with those green and red boxes, just to kind of help out everybody so we don't have to draw them in. But
now to me it looks like the RSI was super low.
Yeah.
Right where we're at.
Oh, right where we're at?
Uh-huh.
You made me bring it back up, huh?
Yep.
No, it's not low. Well, I mean, it's in a good zone. It's in a good spot, but it's not very low. Not
Wait,
right
hold
now.
on. Which was the one with your green and red box?
Oh, stochastic?
Yeah, that's the one.
Let me Control Z a couple times.
My bad.
You're right. It's almost down there.
Perfect.
Yeah, let me
Cass is
go.
already thinking about it long.
Alright, let me go over this histogram deal and the MACD and signal line. Alright, so the MACD, pretty simple. This is easier to show on Hikinoshi, so let me just do that real quick. That way you can see kind of what we're looking at. When the MACD and the signal line are below the histogram is this whole deal with the bars on it, but when I say histogram, I'm talking about the 0 line on the histogram, which is kind of like an invisible midpoint where it flips over from red to green, as you can see. When it's down below the histogram, I'm looking for long positions only. If you try to short this down here, it's not probably going to be good for you. As you see, there was a big short move, but it bounced pretty good right there first. There's two main things I look for. That's one of them, but it's not going to be 100% every time. So what else I look for is, you see how this goes from dark red to light red and dark green to light green? For me, that means the momentum is dying off one way or the other. So if we're looking at a bullish or a bearish move, as it goes from dark red to light red, that means the bears are losing momentum. And as you see what happened, it started to pick back up towards the 0 histogram line and went into the dark green zone. So if you would have just blindly bought right here when it went from dark red to light red and went bullish and long, you would have been good. Now, this is not 100%, so do not use this as your only thing. You will lose your account. But this could help you. So the other thing I'm looking for is these two lines to cross, the blue over the orange for a bullish move. So I don't usually wait for they cross. I won't lie to you. I usually wait till they start to poke together like they're going to cross, and I try to get in a little early. So I'm going to put a line right here. So now that you know what we're looking for. It's just smoother on the Hikinoshi charts. On the standard charts, it does get a little bouncy, so sometimes. A lot of times it still looks good, but so we'll go back to candles. Now we can pop our vision back on, and you see vision said to buy it over here. So we will go from dark red. Good. This is a really good dark red move. The MACD doesn't always look this good. A lot of times it's real small moves like this, and in that case, to me, you want to stay out of those. You want to just, when you see the MACD being real small like that, there's not a lot of trading going on. So I like some good side back and forth trading. So bull signal, You're looking for the bounce on this big, long, massive, fast, bearish move. So you're looking for a little long scalp on the bounce here. So one indicator you could use is, of course, vision. But you're looking from this going dark red to light red. Wait for it to get a couple light reds in there. 2 or 3. Don't just jump on the first one, because that can flick back dark red, just as fast as you got in. But so get 2 or 3 good light red bars. Hey, you got a bull signal. So let's look at some other things, maybe support and resistance lines when this was back here, might have been over here. So see what all is lining up for you to tell you, this might be a good long scalp. And if everything lines up, take your chances. Just be quick to take your profit, and you'll most likely win. Same thing with the bull side. As this goes from dark green to light green, as you see, it floats down here, and there was that dark green one in there, which probably would have scared you, but see, you can see it hitting this the resistance here. It's green right now, but over here it would have been red, and then it kept on trucking down. When it gets up high histogram like this, histogram's up above the top, I'm looking for the blue line to cross below the orange. Usually when they cross on the higher time frame, that's this, like I was saying earlier, kind of the stronger time frames. Look for that cross, and that can be a good indication of a good little short move coming up. And as you see, because this, if you just look at this, ignore everything else. If you look at the histogram and the MACD and signal line, that's all it does. It floats back and forth, up and down, up and down. And a lot of times you can find a good little pattern in there too. So if we take some lines, let's pop some line. Let's see, do a horizontal line so it goes all the way across. We'll find a couple good little intersection points that, a number of them line up. So as you see right here, if we go through here and look, hopefully you guys can see this and it's not too zoomed out on your screen. As you can see, it bounces this same line multiple times, almost like it's a resistance and support. Like you can see, if you were just looking at this, it might be supported there. Look at those type of things. Look at the patterns, because there's a lot of computers trading everything that you're trading today. Stocks, forex, crypto. A lot of computers trading it. And computers are good traders, but they're predictable because they only have one set of programs that they can follow. So same thing.
Are there a lot of computers trading this stuff? Do you know?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there is. Maybe. Rock might know more about that to me, because US 30 seems pretty volatile. And usually the stuff I see a lot of algorithms trading, not very volatile. So there might be. I mean, Vision does it well, so why couldn't everybody else? Like especially banks that spend millions of dollars on a program like Vision that they can, set on autopilot and everything. But yeah. So pay attention to if these lines are below or above the histogram. Again, that's the middle 0 line. If it's down here, I would definitely, I'm not saying you can't short it, because of course there's always going to be moves in here that you could short, but just be a little more cautious if you're going to short it and the line, the MACD and the signal line are down here below the histogram. And then again, be cautious to go long if it's pretty high above the 0 histogram line. And then also look, like I said, is it going dark red to light red, dark green to light green? Are the lines looking like they're about to cross, bullish or bearish? So pay attention to that.
Is your MACD set up to default settings, or do you have them at special settings?
No, anytime I add a common indicator like this, RSI, stochastic, MACD, I leave them at the stock settings, because I want to see what everybody else is likely seeing too. If you start messing with them, now you're kind of doing it by yourself, out in the field somewhere. So like right here, I have this trend line, this yellow line. Found that yellow just line on, I think, the 1 hour, the 4 hour. You see it bounced it right here. The MACD line's crossed. As you can see right there, it went from red to green, which is always good. And we had a nice bullish move. So Vision on a support right there on a trend line, getting supported by that trend line. Vision says buy. Everything else, lines crossed, dark green, going up. Everything adds up right there, and you would have had a great run right there. Whether you scalped it or you held it. Beautiful run.
So that large, I guess that next bull signal over where your cursor is See how it's above the histogram?
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you not go along there?
No, I probably would. I mean, like I said earlier, we can talk shit all we want about what we would do, previous charts, but I probably would just because you see this big yellow box. That's one of the main trend lines from the 4 hour. And so the bear signal popped it down, but it quickly got bought up right back there. And lines crossed, very bullish right here with the blue line above the orange. And so since it's so close to the histogram, you got to remember these lines really need to start picking up away from the histogram if it's going to be a bullish move. And so since they just now made it above that 0 histogram invisible middle line right there, it's kind of like it's getting supported right there and bouncing up off there. So probably likely would have seen that. Maybe I took off my stochastic and stuff, so let's see. I won't have my green boxes and stuff on it, but we can look at that. Honestly, I can't tell you if I would have got in there or not. Maybe not, depending on how greedy I was being. It was getting supported here. There is a bull signal, massive green candle. A lot of buyers came back in there and said, no, sellers, you can get beat. And very bullish MAC. You see how wide the gap is on those MACD and signal line right there? The wider that is, the stronger the move.
What day was that? The 28th?
Yeah, this was right after you were going short right here, Cash.
Oh yeah.
And I said, I got a trend line there. Hold on. But yeah, Max Payne. The only reason I might have sat on my hands there is because the stochastic was pretty high. But again, if you look at it though, you could look at this thing for hours and be like, well, I would and I wouldn't get in. So again, this goes back to talking shit about what you would have done. But there's big long pole here and a big old nice bull flag. So
if you turn the whole EMA on, that was a golden cross as well.
See, I don't trade those, but I do know that a lot of people do. So, but yeah, that's how I use the MACD. This is, since we were talking about how the time frames were conflicting me, we'll go to the 4 hour and the 1 hour and stuff, and I'll show you guys. They're very beautiful on the higher time frames. And they're very respected. Like this crossed right here as it came off of this main bottom trend line. And, if you didn't get in on the bounce right here where it always bounces, this is why you got to pay attention to this main bottom trend line. If you didn't get in right there and you seen the lines crossed, that could have been your indication. This is what was conflicting me. Like, these lines crossed here and you could have had a really good short move right here. But just looking back and forth at 6 different time frames, that's really going to screw you up. So if you're going to trade the 4 hour, cool, stick to it. You might look at the 1 hour because a lot of people trade the 1 hour. But same thing, like lines crossed down here, nice bullish move, and then it turned into a little bearish move there. Again, went bullish, lines crossed, dark green, started going light green. But as you see, if you went just off the dark green to light green, you would have got hosed. Because you would have tried to go short right here when it went dark green to light green. And this is like one of those times, like, it's conflicting. Like, oh, the 4 hour says this, but the 1 hour says it should be going down. So this is one of them times where you don't mess with them bulls.
How do you draw those main trend lines, the yellow ones?
Same way I showed, like with you go to your draw tool here and go to the rectangle. Or no, my bad. That's if I do a horizontal box. If I do a horizontal box for like a resistance or a support point, that's how I'll do it. I'll get that rectangle. But if I do like something like on a trend, let me get those out of my way real quick. I go to the trend line tool area right here and go to the parallel channel. And so you can you click the start point and then you can move to whatever other point you want and then drag how thick you want it.
Okay.
Up or down, and then boop, put it in there. And then you can change the color and outline of the box too. So if I wanted to change this to green, you can change the fill. Let's see here. That's not what I'm looking for. You can change the fill right here with the paint can to green. Outline, you can change the outline to red or whatever.
Okay.
Hang on, let me let my dog out of my room. I'm actually going to leave that green because that's good. Let me let my dog out of my room. She's flipping out. Hold on, baby. Okay. Alright, so let me kick vision back on since we were talking about, the scalper 2 on the 1 hour and the 4.
Signals.
Yeah, it looks goofy and shit until you zoom in. So if you look at them now, they're fucking beautiful. Let's see. I'll get the measure tool out. So bull signal, right on that 4-hour trend line. I mean, that's right there, 400 points. Just to, let's see, the take profit right there. Yeah, there's a take profit there and then a bear signal on the little pullback there. Beautiful, 400 points. Then a Momo bull. I mean, I don't think I need to toot the horn on these. There's 500, almost 550 points right there off that Momo. And then even like this short doesn't look like that big, but if we measure it here, there's a potential 130 points in there. Again, that was just like the flag part of a bull flag. So, if you shorten that, you better hurry up and get the hell out.
You got some balls if you're
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, so like right here on this, there was 250 points. I know it doesn't look like a big move because we're on the 1 hour, so a lot crammed into those candles, but that's 250 points right there. And these signals, this is why I was saying like the higher time frames still look good with the scalper. You just, like I said, from my experience, pick a time frame.
Look at that one right there. Right on the third.
Right on the bear.
No, the bull signal.
The bull right down here. Yep. Right off the trend line. Boom, boom, boom. And again, pay attention to these take profits. Because right here, it didn't tell you to sell it. Most likely because people weren't very confident in selling it right here as it approached this main trend line. So that's why as you seen it break through that main trend line, then the bear signal popped up. But in here there wasn't really it looks like with all these long wicks, there wasn't some big traders in there going short. So
That's the biggest thing is.
Big thing, pay attention to those take profit signals.
Yeah, because you're not really going to trade signal to signal.
Nope. I wouldn't. It's not what it's designed for. Yeah. Sorry, I had to take a bite of my chicken.
I just had Chick-fil-A.
Yuck. No, it's good. I hate the lines, even though they're fast. Anyway, here's the 4 hour with the Scalper 2 beta. Sorry you guys don't have it yet. Well, we do have some beta testers, but we have quite a few. I would say probably in the next few weeks. Probably 2 weeks or less. We got the beta testers testing it right now, and we're just kind of waiting for some good feedback from them. We've got a couple of good little pieces of feedback so far. But like these moves are just, excuse my French, but freaking beautiful. I mean, I'm not going to, like, again, we could talk shit and say you got in the bottom of this candle, but let's just say you got in there late. Stop calling me. Let's say you got in there late, and let's say you got out late, so I'm not going to go all the way to the top. There's roughly probably 1,200 points in the whole move, but let's say you just got in super late, got out super late. There's still, I mean, an idiot would be hard-pressed not to take 500 points on that move.
Well, that's also 4 hours, so that's within a couple days too, right?
Yeah, well, let's see. It started on May 4th, ended with the bear signal on May 10th. So yeah, 6 days. Probably a weekend in there. But yeah, super good move. Of course, it's the 4 hour. Again, you can trade the 4 hour all you want. There's nothing wrong with it. I've never done it, so I tend to just stay on the scalping side.
I'm not that patient.
Right, same thing. So, but beautiful. You see it here trying to get in on these bounces, and you're like, oh man, it's bull signal and downtrend, they look like shit. Well, let's measure this and see how many points was there. Remember on the 4 hour, 225 points. Sheesh. On a 0.1 lot, that's $2,250. So, and again, these signals on the scalper too, just like everything else, never going to be 100%. Unfortunately, nothing can be, but vision's damn close. Anyway, so we'll go back to let's go to 5 and go over the EMA.
Look at what it's doing, Dylan.
What are we doing? We bull flagging?
It's going up.
Money going up, bruh.
Money going up.
Doesn't look like I have the triple EMA,
You're
but
doing a long cast?
probably.
I am not, actually, but my husband is.
All right, let's get this. Let's go to the 20. Actually, let's do the triple so we can see all three at the same time.
That's actually what happened last night. Is I was up trading my account and I was trading his account. So yeah, I was like,
Damn, you gotta make money for him too, huh?
well, he was like, he didn't want me to trade. He was like, I just need you to set a take profit. But I got excited. I couldn't resist. It was perfect.
Oh,
As
guys,
long as you're making money.
if you do look for the triple EMA in the indicators on TradingView, don't go with the built-in one. That thing's trash. It's literally only one EMA and it says triple. Go to the J-Will charts, the one that's created by J-Will charts, triple EMA. I don't know who it is, but thanks for making it. It actually works.
I'm surprised you guys haven't created one yet.
We might. I mean, it's just one of them super basic things. So looks like they got one blinded by default, probably.
Yeah, the white one.
Yeah. So we'll change it to black. And we'll turn this off so we can see what's going on, and then we'll adjust them. So we're looking for the most common ones. 20. No, not 16. Damn magic mouse scrolling by itself. All right, looks like the 20 EMA is our black line. Our 50 is going to be our orange line. And then we're going to change the other one to the 200, which is our purple. So you can see that they all kind of come into play. But in my opinion, the 20 is the one that's most important. And so let's just kind of scroll back to some random spots so we can see.
That's going to be the most common one that's used as support and resistance.
Yeah, so as we see, let me get my draw tool here. You draw, you can kind of see it getting supported here. If I had to guess, yeah, that's exactly where that trend line is. You kind of see how they line up together there. That's good. That's good when you kind of have two things like that kind of crossing each other or lining up at the same time, kind of adding a little extra confidence to your position that you might take there.
And it goes up in barcodes for a day.
No, not a day. This is a 5-minute chart.
Oh, 5 minutes.
But you see it comes back down here, kind of bounces off of here, kind of consolidates on it here, which if you look at what's doing there, I would say it's a nice little bull flag. On the 15 it probably looks better. And it kind of bounces off of it. This is kind of what I was, I think I said this the other night, Cash, where I was talking about how I look for, you can look for short moves on a bull trend, but you gotta be fast, of course. And the way I do that is as it gets away from the 20 EMA in my head and in my mind, like my eyes, the way I guess I just see it is I look for it to bounce away from it far enough and then like almost think of it like a magnetic pull, like an equator line or something, to where waiting for this thing to bounce back to it. Not through it, just to it. And so once it gets kind of far away from it, farther than maybe like average move it's been making away from it, if I see it this far away, I'm going to look for a nice little short scalp on something like that. If other things are telling me the same thing. And you see right here, what was this? Our 200 cash, our purple line? Yeah, it must be our 200. So you can see it kind of bouncing off that as the resistance. These lines really do help out. Again, like I usually just have the 20 on there now, but the 50 and the 200 do come into play. Just I feel like the 20 is more important and comes into play more. Probably just because it follows the candles a lot more. Yeah, that's the same thing. I mean, all the way through, you can see it kind of gets away from it, I'd look for a little short scalp if everything else kind of lining up with me here.
Right there is the
Let's see, you
when it
see
gets the golden cross.
bear signal that when it punches through the 20. You see that bear signal right there? Oh yeah, it sure does.
Over here. That
Right
was
here.
the death cross. Over
Right
here
here.
did the golden.
Nice.
It's funny because the only reason I started to recognize those is I noticed that it's like a huge surge in buying power for the golden cross and then selling for the death.
Those are probably
Maybe.
bots.
Right away, or is it like
That's probably bots.
You can actually see it like there on the 5-minute candles right there. You can see the strength behind that.
Probably a bunch of bots buying it. There is bots that buy on the MACD line cross, like I was showing you guys earlier. There's bots that are set up on stocks and forex and everything, crypto and whatnot, that buys just because the MACD line and the signal line are crossing.
That would make sense, actually.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine that it's not very profitable because it's not. I mean, I would say maybe 6, 7 out of 10 times, maybe if you're lucky, you might win. But it's definitely you got to have some more stuff added with that before I would just go alone on that. But yeah, same thing. Same thing when it gets below the 20 EMA. I kind of again think of it like a magnetic equator pull line deal and look for an opportunity for everything to line up. You know, RSI low, stochastic in my green bar zone or whatever. I look for everything to kind of line up, or a couple things to line up to where I have a good chance of taking a nice little, bullish scalp there. Even though there's no signals here, you got a couple take profits, kind of indicating, hey, maybe this bearish move is dying out. So there's multiple things like, okay, stochastic was low here. We were going dark red to light red. Got some take profit signals popping up around here. We're kind of getting away from the 20 EMA line there. So it again doesn't look like much, but 27 points back to that EMA line. That's $270 on a 0.1 or 27 on your small account. That's big. It's a big move. And, again, not talk shit and say we got the whole thing. Let's say you got half that, 13, 14 points. Still good. On a 0.1 again, that's $140. So you don't need a big move to make no money. Do that a few times a day. Sheesh. Make your whole paycheck in a day.
Adds up.
All right, let's kill all the stuff real quick, and then
I gotta wait until I can deposit again since I blew my account trading stupidly.
Hey man, we've all done it. Don't let nobody tell you different. Everybody's
We
done
have all done it.
Some of us have done it a few times.
it. Heard that. Everybody.
It happens.
Don't bullshit me. Everybody can say they haven't. Everybody can think they're the best Twitter trader around. You can't bullshit me. All right. So let's just scroll back to a random spot. Let's see where we are here. Damn, that's all we went? Oh, we're on the 5-minute. I was like, man, I felt like that scroll was a lot longer than that. Oh, it might not. Oh, okay. It's only going to load probably X amount of candles back for us. Alright, so we won't go off the top or the bottom, so we'll just go off like right here. See if we can start finding some trends in here right out the bat. Eyeball C1. Here's a nice one right in here. Oh, say it's right there. Again, your lines don't have to be perfect. They just got to be close. So, see the trend right here? Everybody see it? Breaks it, test it. They tried. It was a failure at 9:30 a.m. They said, nah, it was broke. And they sold it. It quickly came back, which is nice. I'm sure there was a lot of points in here, and that's probably why it came back. Yeah, 114 points. So quickly came back, but then it kind of just went sideways. Even on the sideways stuff, you can draw lines in here. So we'll just kind of draw it, kind of goofy one, mostly sideways, but it's there. And then you're just kind of waiting for it to set up. And by set up, I mean either A, it's testing your trend line here, or it's breaking through it, testing it, as you can see. Let me zoom in because you guys are probably on phones and stuff too. A little green candle, that's a test. That is a test. And then it miserably fails. Beautiful short. I mean, even if you scalped it, just 2 candles. I mean, couple candles there is 50, 60, 70 points. If you were, a Twitter trader, you held the whole move, 250. Just like that. So this is kind of one of them goofy deals right here. You could pop maybe a trend line right there, and we're bearish right here. So we're gonna put it on top. We'll just kind of go right in here. Don't have to be perfect again. They tried to bust it right here. It failed. Came back below our trend line. They tested it again. As you see, it kind of curled around. Tested it with these 2 green candles, and then went back to a red one, and then it fell some more. So it failed to break out of it there. But if we extend this line, do you see where it broke out and tested? So always, like I said before, always kind of keep your lines on there if they might still come into play, and then that way you can drag the, one side or the other and kind of extend it, because a lot of times they'll come back into play. You see where it broke out, 2 red candles for the test, and now the trend changed and we started a nice bullish trend. You'll see. You like it? Everybody see it? Understand it?
Yep.
Thanks for joining in, Josh. Everybody else is shy. Oh man, let's not toot the horn here, but
Thank you for showing this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Not to toot Vision's horn, but it did say bull right off of this main trend line before it broke out. Beautiful. You can see we're on 5 minutes, so kind of getting a little more scalpy here. So pick your poison, stick with it. Watch just not a bunch of stuff. Don't add a bunch of indicators to your chart. All these fib lines and retracement BS. You don't need it. A lot of people I think I could probably trade alone with just knowing where the RSI is, the 20 EMA, some trend lines and vision, and I could probably just do the 600 to 16,000 in a couple months again. You don't need a bunch of indicators. If you try the MACD deal that I showed you and you like it and it works for you, good, keep using it. But just try, get a nice little strategy going. You're looking for the MACD to do this. You're looking for it to be either bouncing off your trend line or coming back to it, and you're looking for a signal from vision, maybe a little 20 EMA action in there. Stick with it. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna try. I've done it. It ruins your whole strategy, and you start having a losing streak. Most likely blow up your account again. I've done it.
You get all that bell. You see all them bells and whistles on Facebook and shit.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, just I'd say keep it always keep it simple. You see right here, I don't have any indicators on my chart, but because of a trend line, main trend lines, and vision right here, I could probably do very damn well. These are the most important things. First, whatever time frame you're going to pick it, stick with it. And also first, make sure you're not oversizing your positions. Other than that, your trend lines are the next and most important thing. And then your support and resistance will come into play, of course. Since we're so far back, we might not even have support and resistance. Yeah, probably not even around here. Since we're so far back on the chart. But they'll come into play. You know, you'll see like a support or resistance, you know, lining up with your trend line where it's bouncing at or where it's about to bounce at. And you're like, okay, well, that's a resistance. Then it's got the trend line of the resistance. Maybe it's coming up to the 20 EMA and it's going to be a resistance. Everything's showing you that, hey, it's most likely going to get slapped back down here. And then you wait for it to be tested. You wait for it to show you that it's going to be slapped back down. And that's where you go short. If you get in any earlier, it's kind of like gambling, but you know, if you have stuff lining up for you that tells you it's a good short or a good long, take it. Just be quick. Just be quick. Don't overstay your welcome. See, like here's the 5 minute. Like I said, it gets kind of busy. At lower time frame you go, but still correct.
That was my problem, is trying to chase trades, and with a small account, you can't really chase a trade.
Nope. And if you chase it trying to revenge trade, that's even worse. If you're like, oh, well, it's going against me on this long position, let me close it at a loss and then open up a short position. And then you go, oh, wait, that's a loser now too. I've done, man, I did that a bunch, especially US 30 Open. Sit there and chase your tail back and forth. And, you know, so like right here, you can see there's a lot of back and forth in here, a lot of signals. This is why I say the lower time frame you get, the faster you're gonna have to be. But you see,
That's an open too.
yeah, it sure is. This is a pretty nice looking open actually. Not too sideways and just bunch of candles the same size going sideways. But as you see, like this is a good move here. There's 100 points in this move, so say you got a quarter of it and 25 points. You know, there's your $250 on a 0.1. Bear right here when they kind of tried to sell it off. There's another good little long move, good little short move, good little long move, very good short move, good long move, very good short move, another really good long move. You can see if you're fast enough to be on something like this when it starts to get busy like this, then you can make a lot of money in here. Big money, but you got to be fast. No waiting. Oh, I want to see if it'll go up a little more. I'm so close to $500 profit. Let me see if it'll get there. No. Take it at $4.99 if you hit it. Just take it. Take it. But again, this scalper too, when you guys get it, your hands on it, I hope you guys let me know and let Josh know what you think, because again, it doesn't just scalp. As you see here, if it sees that the buyers, like on this bull signal, are still stronger than the bears, it's going to stay in it. It's not only going to scalp. So until it shows, hey, sellers are looking a little strong here, then it'll start to hold it. Like right here, I think this is one of really the only bad ones I've seen. I mean, see, again, I can't say it was bad, because if you look at this, where did it tell you to take profit? There's still about 70 points in that right there to the take profit. So
I was gonna say, I've been looking
Pay
a lot
attention.
at this chart that you're working on right now, and a lot of people say don't follow just the signals, but from what I'm seeing in this chart, your signals are pretty dead on.
well, scalper 2 is pretty badass, I will admit, but we just want people to not blindly trust it, you know.
Right. So this is a completely different system than what we are currently on with Vision.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's still got the drift, and you know, it's still Vision, but it's like it's a different formula that we've been working on for a little bit.
Gotcha.
So it's different than like your beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So a whole different formula. So
Well, you better hurry up and get it.
we'll see. You if anybody wants to beta test it, I can accept probably 3 more people. As long as you're gonna actually message me, or well, we have a beta chat. If you're gonna chat with us and let us know, don't just use it and be like, you know, totally not chat with us about what you think.
Well, I'd love to do it, but I don't have the account to do it, so I'll let somebody else get in on it.
Use the fake account if needed.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. If you're waiting to get some money in your account, you should really be on a demo, just practicing, getting that strategy down, you know.
Yeah. I know people preach demo. It's just not the same to me. It's like
Oh, I
playing
feel you.
poker with big chips.
Same. Yep.
I
It doesn't feel real, you know.
I can definitely agree to that, but it helps in cases of pinpointing better entry and exits.
Yeah.
Because
If you were right or wrong.
Yeah,
I feel
it
you.
helps.
Yeah, it would. Definitely let you know if you were right or wrong. But let's see. I think that's it for me. If nobody has any questions, I'm gonna go eat my chicken.
Popeyes?
No, a little local chicken place right down the road. Pretty good. Not Popeyes, but it's pretty good.
He said it's not Popeye.
Nope. Nothing.
Thank you for doing this, Dylan. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
no problem. Well, we'll do it again next week, just so people can ask questions and stuff.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'd be down to do try it if you.
The beta?
Yeah.
Yeah, just send me a message.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right, guys. If you guys have any further questions, just message me.
Awesome. Thank you.